to have you with us on a Thursday edition of the show, an NFL opener edition of the show. I am Jason. Executive producer is Vladimir Lewisant. Our producer and engineer extraordinaire is Brian McDonald down in Houston. Boy, oh boy, it's been a heck of a football game. And look, you expect it to be sloppy. You expect there's going to be mistakes in this game early on. That's what you're going to get in an NFL opener. And I think Tony Dungy pointed it out at halftime on the NBC broadcast, and accurately so. These guys don't play a ton in the preseason. They're in for a quarter or two quarters, and then they get pulled out, and everybody's scared of getting hurt. So, what you wind up with is a bunch of guys that, when the real deal is ready to go, they're not really ready to go. They're gassed, they're winded, they're making mistakes. You had a couple of turnovers in that first half, and really neither of them were the result of bad play by the quarterbacks. Although, I guess you could say maybe one of the throws by Matthew Stafford, is gonna haunt him a little bit. But Matthew Stafford's going to throw interceptions, and that's what you're going to get from Matthew Stafford throughout the course of a season. So 17-10 Buffalo. We're going to keep you up to date on the game. We'll go through some live betting as we go through the second half of this football game as well. About 5:18 to go in the third quarter. 17-10 Buffalo on top of the Rams. We'll keep you posted on that game as we move through the evening. And, Vlad, I watched the first half probably like you did. And listen, I won't lie to you. When Buffalo gets up on the opening drive and drives it right down the field with ease, spreading the football all over the place, if you're a fan of the Bills, you got to be thinking, this is what our offense is going to look like this year.
Yeah, okay. That's the first series, first time the number ones are going against each other. It's first drive of the game. Yeah, you're excited, but it's not an opening statement.
Of course it is. It's absolutely a statement. Now, look,
no,
again.
Statement,
Listen, I'm not gonna go crazy about it, but it's absolutely a statement. If you're Buffalo, hey man, we're the favorites. We're in it to win it this year, and they went out there and did a heck of a job on that first drive. But again, you watch the entire game, and this is why. This is why I don't do, and I know it's kind of contradictory to what I said about it being a statement drive. And again, a statement doesn't, necessarily make an entire book, doesn't make an entire page, doesn't make an entire chapter, but it's a statement. For them to come out first drive, huge TV audience watching, the whole football world on the edge of their seats watching, and you go down the field and march down and score a touchdown with ease. I mean, that's certainly making a statement. Again, what it says beyond tonight, who knows? What it says beyond the night is absolutely anybody's guess at this point. Loved what the Rams did late in the second quarter, going for it on a fourth down around the 30, trying to get into a position to get a touchdown. They get one later on. Matter of fact, do we have that Cooper Kupp touchdown call, Brian? Give me that Cooper Kupp. Give me a little bit of that Cooper Kupp, because poor Chris Collinsworth didn't even know if he got both feet down. Not only did he get both feet down, I think he got 3 feet down. If he could have 3 feet down. It was pretty good stuff from Cooper Kupp. And man, it's fun to have the NFL back, isn't it, guys? It's fun to have the NFL back. So, 17-10, and again, as I said, we'll keep you up to date. I didn't need to see Ozzy Osbourne, by the way, at halftime. At 73 years old. Man, God bless the guy. I thought he was done performing. And he's got a new and he's got a new album out.
Come on, man. 73?
What'd you say?
He snorted coke with ants.
No, come on.
What do you mean, come on? It's true. Back in the days.
Back in the days, not anymore. You make it sound like he's doing it now.
I didn't say that. I'm just saying. You're saying I can't believe he's alive. Well, if a guy's doing
I didn't say I can't believe he's alive. I said I can't believe he's still out there performing.
That's pretty much the same thing. Okay.
He's 73. As a matter of fact, I thought he said years ago that he wasn't going to perform anymore. That's what I remembered him saying. That, his body's kind of breaking down, and man, 73 years old, still out there. I mean, Mick Jagger. Hey, Google, how old is Mick Jagger? Mick Jagger's 79, and he looks better than Ozzy at 73. I mean, let's just say it. I mean, Mick, let me tell you, there'll be 3 things left on this earth after the apocalypse. It'll be cockroaches, Mick Jagger, and Keith Richards. And that's it. That'll be the only things left.
Well, that's not fair. Two-thirds of the things that's left are Rolling Stones.
It's true, though. It's absolutely
true.
true.
I don't know what Mick was doing, but like
Mick and those guys, I'm sure they were doing hard living too. Well, Keith Richards, my God. There wasn't anything that didn't go up Keith Richards' nose.
They look it. But Ozzy's still going, all right? So, good for Ozzy.
So 17-10 with the Bills on top of the Rams. Josh Allen so far, 20 completions for 175 yards, 2 touchdowns, and the 2 interceptions. For the Rams, Matt Stafford thus far, 16 completions for 132 yards, a touchdown, and an interception. Buffalo's been running the ball pretty effectively in this game. You like some of the play calling that you've seen. I mean, Josh Allen running it a few times. I was watching some of the talk shows this morning. They were talking about their biggest concern about the Bills is the running game. And not just the running game, but necessarily how much Josh Allen's going to run the football. And obviously the risks that potentially come up as a result of that. And, first half, 4 carries, 30 yards. Had a couple of decent carries. Devin Singletary so far, 7 carries, 44 yards. I think they've done a good job mixing it up offensively.
They're all right. They're doing well. If you saw that opening drive, that statement drive, like you said, you have a tough decision to make when it's third and 2 or 3rd and 1 or 4th and 1 because you don't know if Josh Allen will run with the ball or he can throw. That's
so difficult.
They're
so difficult. They're just so difficult to defend. By the way, Josh Allen in this game has hit 7 different receivers. 7 different guys have caught passes. 5 of them have caught multiple passes. So you got to like what you see out of the Bills in this first game. But again, it's just the first game. And I'll say the same thing I even say about college football, which doesn't even really have a preseason. Because even though the NFL has a preseason, so many of these guys don't even play. So I still can't go crazy about what I see week 1. We see upsets in week 1 of the NFL every year. So there isn't anything I'm going to see in the first week or 2 weeks of the season. I say it all the time. Teams don't know they suck. Now, obviously, neither of these 2 teams suck. Vlad and I both have the Rams in the Super Bowl. So obviously, neither of these 2 teams suck. But the reality is, early on in the season, teams can convince themselves that they're better than they actually are, play above their heads, and you'll get guys that are, maybe doing some things that they're not going to be able to do come week 3, week 4, week 5, week 6. Once they realize, maybe we're not as good as we thought we were. Now we're 1-3. We're 2-4. So Buffalo 17-10, late stages of the third quarter. As I said, we will keep you up to date. We're sort of your accessory to live games on nights like this. We'll give you an opportunity to sort of see what's going on in these games. We'll give you some of the live betting right now. With Buffalo up 17-10, the live spread has them at -6.5 and -530 on the money line. And the total is right now 41.5. We're going to get 2 more touchdowns in this game? I'd say yes. Matter of fact, I'll even go further. If I were betting it right now, if I were going live betting, I'd take the over. At 41.5 right now, I'd probably take the over. Yay, nay, Vlad? Usually you'll be all over me on this.
I thought this game would have been over. This game is not going over. A couple interceptions.
No, but I'm saying where it is now. I'm saying where it is now.
I wouldn't touch it. I don't think so.
You think it's going on? See, we know what our boy EK would say.
Oh, yeah.
Gotta go under. Gotta go under. Wow, Bills on the money line now. Boy, not for nothing. I would jump all over the Rams at +450 right now on the money line. I would jump all over that number. At home, still a close game, still a few possessions left. +450.
Well, it all depends on this drive because the Bills score a touchdown. They're down.
Yeah, it is, but it doesn't mean it's a wrap. It's certain. You certainly and honestly, if the Bills score a touchdown here, I love the over even more. If you think the Bills are going to score a touchdown here, over 41.5, I'm jumping all over that. We'll do some of the live betting stuff when the games go to break because it changes so much literally play to play. I'm not going to go that nuts with it. But we'll keep you up to date on that as we move through the late stages of this third quarter and the fourth quarter. When we come back, I want to get into one of the big stories of the day, and it's this back and forth that we're getting between what happened with the Seahawks and Russell Wilson. We're hearing more from Russell Wilson as it relates to how things sort of fell apart for him with the organization that he helped lead to a Super Bowl. And I'm asking the question whether the Seahawks did major damage to their credibility with big stars in the future, or is it a flashing red light as it pertains to Russell Wilson for the upcoming season? We'll get into that as we continue. I'm Jason Page. The telephone number is 800-224-2004, 800-224-2004. You can hit me up on Twitter at any point during the show, at The Back Page. Again, on Twitter, hit me up at The Back Page. Anything you want to chime in on, you could do so there. Much more to do on the Cash In on the Sports Map Radio Network. Thank you. Did you hear me when I was calling for the highlight? I was sitting there saying, "Give me the Cooper Kupp highlight," and I didn't know what happened. Just do me a favor. If you're ever going to step away, just say in my ear, "Hey, I'm going to be cutting that you're not going to be there," or something, or just text me. You know what I mean? No worries.
Oh man, I have a big pimple on my face.
Oh, the first down.
The end of the third, bro. It's the end of the third.
Are you that far ahead of me?
Yeah.
God damn it. It's bullshit. He's so far ahead of me. Do. So literally seconds before the show was scheduled to start, my network went down.
Yikes. No
wonder. Oh, it's great. Oh, it's great. That's why we were late coming on. What's going on with the Yankees in the ninth? This game.
We got 4th and 3. Aaron Judge. That must have meant Aaron Hicks hit a 2-run double. Double. Second and third.
Yankees tied it?
Down 4-3. No. Second and third. Yankees down 4-3 in the bottom of the ninth. Aaron Judge up to bat.
I'm switching on to that on my phone.
It's on MLB Network.
No. I got MLB.TV on my phone. Oh, there it is. I saw the replay of the double. Aaron Hicks, big hits. Oh, of course they're going to walk Judge.
Is that Rocco Baldelli? That is Rocco.
How am I this far behind on this game?
You're far behind on everything. They don't let Torres, all you got to do is hit a sac fly, you fuck. Don't hit a fucking double grounder.
Yeah, the Yankees had bases loaded last inning and Stanton struck out.
Oh, pinch hitting?
Yeah.
No, what do you expect? You know what? You know who's my...
Stand by. We're coming back.
Okay.
Yeah. For those of you watching on the video stream, you could see how insane it is right now because we're watching the Yankee game. Vlad and I are. We're watching the Yankee game. We're keeping tabs on Buffalo and the Rams, which is 17-10. That game isn't end of the third yet, right? Still 33 seconds to go in the third, Vlad?
No, we're in the fourth.
How are you in the... What is going on with my feed of this game? Good Lord, YouTube TV, you're killing me tonight. How could I be this far behind? I mean, my God. So bad. It's just that, see, and this is the problem. This is the problem with the concept of YouTube TV. Because it's hooked in through the internet, you're at the mercy of an internet connection, which could sometimes be delayed by a number of seconds. And when you're watching live sports, that doesn't work.
You know you're an adult, right? It's your choice. You could have gotten live cable. You're the one who decided.
You know how much cable cost?
Then stop bitching.
What are you going to
If
do?
you're 7 seconds behind.
What am I going to do? So the Yankees have the bases loaded, trailing 4-3 in the bottom of the ninth. Do not spoil it for me, Vlad, or I will go absolutely nuts. I will mute. I will bring down the levels. I got a football game that's a million miles behind. Has the fourth quarter even started?
Yes.
I'm that far behind. Like, I'm literally watching the first play of the fourth quarter right now. How much time is left on the clock? Just tell me that.
Hold on. Switch into the Yankee. Hold on.
See, you're only watching one thing. I'm watching multiple. Well, the Bills are deep into the red zone after a big pass play. So late in the early in the fourth quarter.
13:37 left in the fourth.
Yeah, see, I got 14:43. I just had this is just not acceptable. It's not acceptable. I'm just turning it off.
Stephon Diggs just dropped a pass that could have helped me and my fantasy team. It's 4th and goal. It's rough.
No, this is the worst, man. I can't even enjoy watching sports. I got my dog chewing on a bone behind me. I need a studio. This is just, my dog is literally gnawing on a bone. Can we stop that?
Jesus Christ, Torres.
Oh, it's not Glaber Day? Is that what you're telling me?
No, he just struck out.
It's not Glaber Day in New York?
3-2. He just struck out.
Yeah, I saw it. That one I wasn't a million miles behind on.
He had a 2-0 count.
Yeah, I know. I wonder what the Yankees are going at right now with in live betting in this situation. In the bottom of the ninth. It's probably shut down. Yeah, it's probably shut down. So 17-10, Buffalo on top of the Rams early in the fourth quarter. Although that may have changed by now because God knows I'm probably a million miles behind. I saw the drop that you were just talking about from Stephon Diggs, by the way.
Oh, Josh Allen they went for it on 4th and goal. And seems like Josh Allen scored a touchdown.
Okay.
Got the ball over the goal line.
All right, so there you go. We can't do play-by-play, but we can keep you up to date on what's going on. So the Rams now trail by a couple touchdowns. That's why I said it, 41.5. At the time that I said it, when it was 41.5 with Buffalo on their own side of the field, I absolutely make that bet.
And I would have loved it if they were down 10.
What'd you say?
I would have loved it if they were down 10. I don't like it now.
No, I like it 14 because they'll get at least one garbage touchdown.
The Rams are going to get a touchdown.
Rams will get a touchdown.
Right. But are the Bills going to score again?
I saw the Josh Allen touchdown. That's an impressive run, and that's what makes him so lethal, is his ability in that part of the field. In that part of the field, it's just impossible to defend them. You just get so look, I'm gonna sound like an old fuddy-duddy here with the idea of, oh no, I want to just a straight up pocket passer that doesn't run the football, but it's got to make you very nervous to see your franchise quarterback, as active as Josh Allen is in so many key situations. All it takes is one wrong hit. I mean, granted, it could happen in the pocket as well. I should say Yankees lose 4-3. Ground out to end the game. IKF grounding out to second base or the shortstop or wherever they're shifted. And that was the final score. So Yankees lose 4-3. Take 3 of 4 from the Twins, but the Rays aren't in action tonight. And they pick up a half game on the Yankees. They picked up a half game. What'd you say, Brian? Oh yeah. All right. Give me the latest touchdown in the Rams in the Rams affair with the Buffalo Bills. This is how Buffalo just took a 24-10 lead. Mike Tirico, the call on NBC, who's got to be so happy. I mean, I'm sure he appreciates and respects Al Michaels. But you know Mike Tirico, who left ESPN what feels like a million years ago to go over to NBC. And this is what he was waiting for. He was waiting for Al Michaels to give up the GOAT. And he did. To go to Amazon Prime on Thursday nights. But you know that he has to love being able to call these big football games now. Because look, Mike Tirico's a staple of this industry. So good. Josh Allen tonight, 243 yards, 39 on the ground, still a whole quarter to play. Already starting to polish up that MVP resume, baby. 24-10, Buffalo on top of Los Angeles. So did the Seahawks do major damage to their credibility with big stars in the future? And I think you could argue they can. And maybe in this case, both things are true. Maybe it is both that big stars are going to look at a place like Seattle and say, well, my God, where's the loyalty in that organization? I mean, the guy went and won you a Super Bowl, and you were looking to trade him. And they weren't just looking to trade him last year. Russell Wilson says they were looking to trade him in 2018. And now they succeeded, obviously, in 2022, but that this organization was looking to get rid of him 4 years ago, not thinking he was the player he once was. And I think that's something that if you are a potential franchise player looking at Seattle as a potential destination, at some point you're going to have to say, well, man, where's the loyalty in that organization? All the winning, all the heart, everything Russell Wilson put into that organization, playing the game right. And at the end of the day, you were trying to trade him. You didn't just trade him in 2022. If you wanted to make the argument in 2022 that the game wasn't there anymore, you want to deal him. They were looking to deal him in 2018. And now they get their wish, and they're going to get him in week one. And again, I'm not going to go crazy about anything that happens in week one, but it is going to be a fascinating matchup to watch with him back in Seattle. But now the other side of that coin, and this is why I think sometimes both things can be true. Sometimes it's not one or the other. Sometimes it is both. And I know people will say I'm riding the fence on this. If you're a Denver Broncos fan, here is a Seattle organization that was watching Russell Wilson play this game every day, watching him every day in practice. And in their evaluation, they didn't just think he was done in 2022. They were wondering whether he was done in 2018. And this is the guy you just traded for, who's supposed to be the savior that's supposed to get this team out of the doldrums where they've been since Peyton Manning left the organization and they won a Super Bowl with him at the tail end of his career. And now you have to wonder, well, man, what was Seattle seeing? Are you second guessing yourself as a fan? What does this season really have in store?
So they wanted to trade him where? 2018, you said?
They wanted to trade him in 2018.
2019, 4,110 yards, 31 touchdowns,
Yes.
5 interceptions, a quarterback rating of 106.3. 2020, 4,212 yards, 40 touchdowns, 13 interceptions, a quarterback rating of 105.1. A down year with injury. 3,113 yards, 25 touchdowns,
Yes.
6 interceptions, 103.1
Yeah,
quarterback rating.
I did. So obviously,
So
you can make the argument. Obviously, you can make the argument that Seattle was evaluating it incorrectly. Matt Verderam, national NFL writer for Fansided, joins us next on The Cash In. I'm Jason Page. This is Sports Map Radio. I had to jump on you because we were up against the clock.
First of all, yeah, Dookie biting on the bone.
What'd you say, Brian? Oh, cool. Oh, awesome. Okay. Yeah. Pull it. I can come back to that. Matter of fact, have it ready for the last segment of the hour, that little 3-minute segment, that 2.5. I'll use it as a little tease. I've got the interview here.
Buffalo. Rams just do an interception, so you're taking of the fucking
I got
Rams.
everything. You just got to look pretty.
Boy, they listen to you, Jason. They're gonna lose money this week.
What'd you say?
They would be losing money with you this week.
Why you say?
The Bills just intercepted the Rams. You saying taking the Rams in the fourth quarter to live betting. They just intercepted the ball.
I didn't say take the Rams. Oh, well, I said I would jump on them. I said I would jump on the money bet. What I said also was that I like the over. I said if you're going to take a flyer, though, that I would definitely take it plus 450 when they were down 7 and the ball was at the 40. Hold on 1 second. I got to find something here. Stream video capture. That's what I was looking for.
By the way, the robot's getting she's going to 3 sets, I believe.
Who? Who's going to
robot?
3? Who's the robot?
The number one seed in the women's U.S. Open. Me and my friends call her the robot. She looks like a robot. Like she just, has no heart, no emotion. She just beats people up. She's a robot.
I got later on in the show, I got this video and audio of Dion going nuts about the cell phone in the locker room at halftime.
Oh, probably ain't having that.
Oh man.
It's great. Wow, she's down 3. She's down 3-2 in the third. Serving. Look at that. We got drama.
All right, hold on 1 second. Vlad, you can kill your mic here.
I did.
Continuing on the cash in on this. Oh, no. Shoot. Continuing on this Thursday edition of the program, and always happy to... Continuing on this Thursday edition of the program, and always happy to talk some NFL with Matt Verderam, who does a terrific job, national NFL writer with Fansided, who joins us on the show. So it feels to me like this Lamar Jackson situation, if it's deja vu for Ravens fans all over again, didn't they do something like this with Joe Flacco, where basically he wound up betting on himself? He won a Super Bowl, cashed out a huge check with them, and then obviously people could argue whether or not he lived up to the expectations of that contract. But it feels like we're going down that same road again with the Ravens. Am I wrong?
No, it does. At this point, definitely looks like this is going to be played out throughout the season. Lamar's deadline is Friday. We're rapidly approaching Friday. So unless something gets done, he goes back on his word. It looks like they're going to play this deal out. And every game you play now, if you're Lamar, it's a big risk for you, and it's also a risk for the Ravens. He goes out and has another MVP caliber season. His price is going to skyrocket. Really going to skyrocket. Herbert gets paid. So this is a fascinating stance, and it's going to at the end of the year, one of these sides are going to feel pain over not getting a deal done. Whether it's Jackson, whether it's the Ravens, we're going to find out. But you're looking at, if he has a really good year, you're looking at $55 million a year. plus, and he will get it, whether it's from the Ravens or from somebody else.
But here's what I wonder. Let's play the middle ground on this. Let me game this out a couple different ways, Matt. Let's say one scenario is, okay, he has a good season, not a great season, and they as an organization decide, yeah, he's a good quarterback, but can we win a Super Bowl with a quarterback that's not as accurate as we would like? Yes, he can scramble around and run around and do some things, and he can get you through the regular season and be a good regular season winning quarterback. But maybe they decide at the end of the season, is there any chance they would decide that they would judge this season in such a way that they say, we're not going to give you a contract?
Yeah, there's absolutely a way that happens. And that's why I think there's a lot of risk for both sides. And I think if the Ravens had their druthers, I think they'd sign him now. I think they've been pretty open about that. But, the one thing that could happen is, like, let's say he has a season like you're describing. Well, if that happens, if you're Baltimore, do you at some point just say, you know what? We're going to tag you. We're going to tag you twice. And then we're going to just move on. And that's it. Like, we're going to just, or maybe they say, hey, we'll tag you once, then we'll trade you on your second tag. And that way they get value for it. Right? I mean, I just wonder at some point.
It's not a binary choice. I mean, so it's really not a binary choice then. It's not sign them or let them go. I mean, it's a binary choice. It's not a binary choice.
Right. No, by no means is it a binary choice. They could absolutely say, we're going to by the way, I think that's what's going to happen. I think they're going to tag him. If he doesn't have a contract for next season, they're not letting him walk. That's not happening. So they're either going to sign him long term, or they're going to tag him. Well, those situations usually start in the tag and then go one direction or the other. I would think they would tag him. Now the question is going to be, which tag do they give him? Because there's a non-exclusive and an exclusive, and if you give him an exclusive tag, that means that no team can offer him a deal. He is absolutely the property of the Ravens, so to speak. If you give him a non-exclusive, it's cheaper. But then teams can offer him a contract. Now, the Ravens would have a week to match. If they match, then they sign him automatically to that deal. If they don't match, they get 2 first-round picks. So that is going to be fascinating if we get to that point. It's just, if you're the Ravens, you also have to think at some point, too, like, you're going to want cost certainty here. You're going to want to know what your cap looks like a year from now, 2 years from now. Those tag numbers are huge numbers for a quarterback. I mean, they will not be able to maneuver in free agency at all if he's tagged. They may even have to cut some guys. So it becomes a problem, and they're going to have to figure it out one way or the other after this season.
Matt Verderam joining us, national NFL writer for Fansided, as we get this NFL season kicked off and talking with him about some of the bigger stories going on around the league. I have been of the mindset with this Tom Brady story that, maybe I'm overplaying it when it comes to this whole thing with him and Giselle. And I've heard people say, no, he's in a good headspace. He's okay as we get ready to start the season. And look, he's not, I don't know how much he's going to let people in to what's going on in his private life. Everything we've heard pretty much has come from the tabloids. And I read something in Vanity Fair, and I've read something in the New York Post on page 6. I just can't help but wonder if, the combination of losing Gronk, in the offseason and sort of looking at the makeup of this roster, what's going on in his private life, if this is going to be the sort of season for Tom Brady at the age of 45 that some people still think he's going to have.
Well, look, I think it's definitely fair to sit there and say this has been the most turbulent offseason for him in his career. I mean, whether now you could say, well, you moved teams a couple of years ago, yeah, but all that stuff was his choice. It wasn't as though the Pats were just kicking him out of town. He decided to move on. He called the shots. Now you're in this offseason where, look, I don't know why he stepped away for 10 days from training camp, but that's obviously abnormal. And not only for him, but for anybody. Then you have all the tampering stuff that went on that he did not get punished for, the Dolphins got hammered for. But tampering with Brady is supposed to go on for years. Then you have the retirement, the non-retirement, all the injuries on the offensive line. Gronk's gone. I mean, at some point, you look at it and you wonder, like, really want to be there? Because look, I would never question his heart and his love of football. That'd be crazy. But all the tampering stuff says, no, he really did not want to be there. He wanted to be in Miami, and he's not Miami. And then Arians gets moved into the front office. They have a new head coach. Like, you wonder if Brady's looking at this going, you know what? I'm going to play this year. I'm going to give it everything I have, but I'm going to play this year, and then I'm out of here. I'm done. I just don't think this has gone the way he's wanted to go.
Give me a long shot, Matt. Give me a long shot. We know who all the favorites are in all the divisions, and Vlad and I were talking about this last night on the show. Our executive producer about who we think is going where, and there's not a lot of disagreement on who we think makes the postseason. But give me a long shot. Give me that middle of the pack team that when we get to Christmas, all of a sudden we're going to be talking about X team that we weren't really thinking about as a Super Bowl contender, but could be.
Okay, so I don't know if this team would qualify for you, but I think the Saints are a team like that.
I would think that qualifies.
Where I think a lot of it now, I think the two most important things for football teams is the coach and the quarterback. And those are the two questions I have about the Saints. Dennis Allen, it's his second go-around as head coach. I don't hold the first go-around against him. He was with the Raiders, and they were absolutely dysfunctional and atrocious. Like, I don't care what his record was with the Raiders, but he did not have any success. Jameis Winston was playing well last year before he got hurt, but now comes back with a much improved cast around him. I think that's the top 5 defense in the NFL. So, are the Saints a team that they're fighting for the playoffs like they were last year, or are they fighting for the division title? I don't know. But I like them as an 11-win team. I think they're very good. The other team, they're not a Super Bowl team by any stretch. I think Jacksonville is going to compete in that AFC South.
Wow.
Jacksonville overspent this offseason. I don't love the contract they handed out, but they got better. They signed a lot of good guys. Now, that may come off the roost in 2 or 3 years, but for now, I think they got a lot better. I also genuinely think they're the first team in NFL history. They played without a coach last year. So you now have a real coach. You have much better talent around the team. You have ETN back from injury. I don't think that Jacksonville is winning 10 games, but I could see Jacksonville 7-7 through week 15. And that division, what is it going to take? 9 wins, maybe 10. I'm picking it, but I think Jacksonville is going to be right in that mix.
Wow. It's an interesting one. I outside of the Saints, I would not have expected to hear Jacksonville brought up in this conversation. Talking about Matt Verderame, NFL writer, their national guy over at Fansided on the start of this NFL season. Coach on the hot seat as the season begins. Is it Mike McCarthy?
There's not a lot of them. I actually went through this here today. I was thinking about this. There's not a lot of guys. Now, McCarthy, he's been on the hot seat, it feels like, ever since he took the job, because everybody thinks Sean Payton's going to be there. McCarthy's in a really tough spot because I honestly think unless they get to the NFC title game, I don't think he's having his job back next year. I mean, Jones and Payton are so close and have been for so long. I would be really surprised if McCarthy goes 10-7 and they flame out in the wild card round and maybe they win some game. I think he's got to do more than that to keep his job. The one guy, I don't think he'd get fired. But if Matt Rule, if the Panthers really take a turn for the worse, I could see him going. I mean, he's probably the guy I'm looking at. I don't think the Jets would fire Saul. I mean, it's the beginning of his second year, but you look at the Jets' schedule, they could easily be 2-8. I mean, they just have a brutal slate of games. Although I will say this year, there's nobody that just jumps at it because if they start 0-4, he's gone. But those are a couple of guys I'd watch.
Matt Verderame, national NFL writer, Fansided, giving us some time here on the program today. Is there any hope? I'm a Giants fan, so I'm going to ask one selfish question. I actually think the Jets are better than the Giants, even though the Jets have a tougher schedule. I think talent-wise, I think they're better than the Giants. Is there any hope if you're a New York Giants fan right now?
Long term, yes. This year, probably not. I think the reality is Joe Shane is digging out from everything that Dave Gettleman did to that team. And they are going to have a year here where they just kind of go through the process of being able to dig out from these oversized, these bloated deals, guys like Galladay, Galladay's got the highest cap of any receiver in the league. You look at they've got 1 year left with Daniel Jones, unless he plays great. But if not, he's gone after this year. They just cut Bradbury, they cut Martinez. In the last few months here overall. So I think it's really hard to see the Giants being good, but if they dig out of this and the rookie class looks good, which by the way I think they have the top 5 rookie class, if they have that, even if they go 5-12, who cares? Because then you get a quarterback in a quarterback-rich draft, you build off that. There's hope there, but I don't think this season. I don't think they're going to be very competitive.
You got a Super Bowl pick?
Yeah, I have the pick everybody else in the world has. I think Buffalo's going to win. I have them beating the Packers. I had the Bucs in the game until all the injuries in the preseason. That scares me to death. I will say this. I think Buffalo and Kansas City are the 2 best teams in football. And I think if anybody's going to beat Buffalo, I think it's going to be Kansas City. You beat them the last 2 years in the playoffs. And the one thing that worries me about Buffalo is that pass rush. They paid a lot for Von Miller. And I don't blame them. I think that was a smart move. They need that pass rush to come through. If that pass rush isn't what they think it's going to be, they're in a conference where if you don't get home in a playoff game, you got a big problem. Because anybody you're playing can throw for 400 on a given day. I like Buffalo and KC the most. I think Buffalo is the better team by a nose right now. I think they finally win a Super Bowl.
Wow. Finally, indeed. Matt Verderam, National NFL Writer, Fansided. Look, I look forward to doing it throughout the season. You're always a great get. Good luck and enjoy the games.
Hey, thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
Stay with us. We got more to do in this Thursday edition of the Cash In with Jason Page. Keep an eye on the baseball games. Keep an eye on the football game. It's one of those nights where we're all just mesmerized by the NFL. Baseball doesn't even want to go up against it. If you look at the games, there's no baseball games tonight. Baseball said, we're just throwing in the towel. We're not even going up against you. We're back with more on the Cash In on the Sports Map Radio Network.
For those that don't know, Naked Gun, thank you very much.
I must kill the queen. Come on.
Who would have known that out of all of that, the actual killer would have been DJ.
All right, coming back. I mean, the sports talk might be good. The picks, not so much. I said, when it was 17-10 and the Bills were driving around their own 40, I said take the over. The live over at that point was 41.5. And it was looking good. It's 31-10. The Bills had the ball around the Rams 20, and then they fumble the football away. Now, if I had money on that, that would have been a bad beat. That would have been bad because they were marching down to at least get a field goal and get that over 41.5. I don't know what the line even was before the game. See, this is what happens when you cannot bet legally in California.
What do you mean? The line for the game?
Yeah.
The Bills were favored by 2.5.
And but what was the total?
51 and I believe 51.5.
Oh, it was that high? Wow.
No, it was a high total.
Well, they ain't getting there. That's for sure. So 31-10, it looks like the Rams will fall in their curtain opener today. I don't know if they'll get the touchdown to get it over that 41.5 we were talking about earlier on the live betting, but I guess we'll just kind of wait it out and see. But this is why, and we're going to get into some stuff about sports betting in the next hour because I want to combat something that's out there. Not that I'm some apologist for sports betting, by the way, because I'm not. I think like anything else, you do it at your own risk. But there's an argument being made that I want to kind of counterbalance a little, and we'll do that in the next hour. We'll also hear Russell Wilson in his own words on this whole Seahawks controversy. That's as we continue on the Cash In on the Sports Map Radio Network. Stay with us. Come on, Stafford. All right, they're past midfield. There's a garbage touchdown coming here. There's a garbage touchdown coming. We're all living it together, man. I have an autographed Ben Skowronek card. So have that Russell Wilson ready to start the next hour? Yeah, I'll throw to it. I'll let you know. Look at this dog, by the way. Just And Vlad, do me a favor.
Yeah.
Definitely don't, because you are so far ahead of me, be careful with giving play-by-play because that could get us in trouble. All right. Like if I give the play-by-play, I know I'm so far later that I'm not actually giving play-by-play because I'm at least 15 to 20 seconds late, which means I'm really 30 seconds or 40 seconds after it actually happened. Not that I'm going to give play-by-play, but just kind of scoring updates of that sort of thing. Yeah, we'll play that Russell Wilson here, Bri. And then we'll do the baseball proposed rule changes. The Russell Wilson stuff was good. I don't know how to handle the interview because it got cut. Yeah. Maybe I can do that. Yeah.
Wait, what are you talking about? What got cut?
No. Nothing, Vlad. When I went to go replay the interview, I had an issue. So a little of it got cut, but I could send him the full audio file for the podcast. He's just asking me about the podcast.
Oh, wait, Cooper Kupp. Oh, Cooper Kupp might have just helped you get that last second touchdown for the over.
See, this is what I mean. This is what I mean. I'm looking at two coaches right now. They're just about to snap that play. They just snapped the football. Jesus, what a run after the catch. Yeah, they're getting in the end zone. The 2-minute warning. Do 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 do. Was that you? Or was that me?
That's you. I'm on mute.
What the hell? All right, come back. All right, another hour starts now. Sports Map Radio Network. First week of the cash in. Still working out some of the kinks. Brand new show, new studio setup, or temporary. I'm kind of in a temporary studio until we get into our full-time digs, but we're making it work best we can. Now, you'll recall, we were talking in the first hour about the Russell Wilson situation with Seattle and how there's this whole story that's come out in recent days with ESPN reporting on it about the fact that this falling out has been in the works for a number of years. I don't know if anybody realized it went all the way back to 2018 when Russell Wilson, well, I'll let him say it in his own words. This is Wilson talking about kind of the way things fell apart in Seattle. So that was Wilson talking about being nearly dealt away, or they at least tried to trade him away in 2018, and saying essentially, I wasn't mad, but sure, it's going to impact you. And Vlad was talking about it in the first hour just before we had to go to break. But I mean, his numbers after they almost tried to deal him in 2018 were pretty damn good. So obviously their evaluation of him at that time wasn't very good if they were thinking that he was washed up and that's why they were going to deal him away. That he couldn't win for them anymore. But now, in 2022, they obviously felt that way, so they decided to trade him to Denver for a whole slew of picks and players and all that stuff. But there's definitely some hurt feelings there. And I give Russell Wilson a lot of credit. He said all the right things. He's handled himself like a professional. But it's going to be fun to watch and see what happens that first matchup between those two teams in week 1 for sure. We're coming back with more of the cash-in. It's all over but the crying in Los Angeles where the Rams are going to lose to the Bills. We'll recap that some. Baseball rule changes too. I'm Jason Page. It's the cash-in on the Sports Map Radio Network. Thank you. Are they going to get the garbage touchdown or not?
Nope.
Don't tell me.
I already told you.
Oh, they lost the foot. Oh, God.
It's over. They already knew. It's 31-10.
Jesus.
Bills covered in the under. If you listen to Vlad, you win money.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. Rams look like they're going to have some struggles offensively. They might need Odell.
Well, they said he was down on the field before the game.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to be there for the banner, you know. But that Buffalo defense looked pretty good as well. They need a running game. Buffalo needs a running game. You can't have Josh Allen running in cold-ass Buffalo in December and January. Somebody's going to get him.
Somebody going to get him is right.
That was a quick game, though. I'll give you that.
Yeah, that was over early. I thought we'd be at least middle of the hour.
Dude, by 9:30 was already at halftime.
Yeah.
We're not even in the halfway part of the show, and it's done.
Yeah. Kind of changed my calculus a little bit on the rundown. $297 through the air, 56 on the ground. Not a bad night. 4 touchdowns, 3 passing, 1 rushing.
Come on, man. He's fantasy heaven right now.
Diggs 8 for 122 and a TD.
All right, the robot won 6-4 in the third. Nice.
Tomorrow's the match of the tournament. Alcaraz and Tiafoe is going to be so good.
Or is it afternoon?
I'm not sure. I'm talking about Jabeur or Swiatek.
Swiatek.
Oh, okay.
She's number 1, man. Come on.
Yeah, she is.
She's like 34-2 this year or some shit like that. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, today's the first time I haven't watched any of the U.S. Open.
Wow, it sucks. NFL Network can't even do the post game anymore.
Really?
Well, I mean, they have to wait. I think they just go straight to Total Access because NBC and Prime has it. I think the post game will be on Peacock Network.
Fun. All right, stand by. We'll come back.
All right.
See, this is exactly why, before we started doing the show, let you a little peek behind the curtain. I said a couple of weeks ago to Vlad, our executive producer, EPV, as I like to call him, I said to him, I'm not going to give out a ton of picks on the show. One, because people take that stuff to heart and they go run and, dump all their crypto into some offshore account, or they dump their, checking account into one of these sports betting apps, And if I wind up wrong, they're going to hate me. I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be the guy who's giving out bad picks. And I might lose 3 in a row and then win 5 in a row, but I've already lost 3 in a row and they've stopped listening. So I'm not of the mindset of giving out tons of picks. I'm just not going to do it. And tonight is the perfect example because we were looking at the live betting. We were looking at the live betting during the third quarter when it was still 17-10 and Buffalo had the ball in their own 40 and there was still, 4 or 5 minutes left or 9 minutes left in the I don't remember what it was. Midway. We'll just say midway through the third quarter. I said to Vlad, the money line on the Rams jumped all the way up to plus 450, and I loved it. I love live betting. I really do. I'm not necessarily great at it, but I love it. So I said the Rams at plus 450, I liked. But I also liked over 41.5 on the total, and both of them would have lost. If I had placed both bets, I would have lost. So that's, that is the problem.
If they listened to you.
If they had listened to me. Now, you didn't give... Now, wait a second. Let's also be clear here. I threw it to you after I gave my picks, you said you disagreed. It wasn't like you came on the air and said, hey, you should go and make these picks. There's a big difference.
Well,
you just played contrarian and were right.
I was right Monday night as well when I told everybody that Clemson was going to cover.
Yeah, I didn't make a prediction one way or the other there. You did, though.
Yeah, no, you still said, no, you think Georgia Tech was going to cover, and, if they bet in the second half, they would have been wrong. It's all right. It's going to happen. This week is, you're 0 for 3.
It's
all right.
I'm not 0 for 3 because I didn't place any bets on anything. So I'm 0 for nothing.
Well, you're 0 for 0 in your pockets, but you're 0 for 3 on the air.
And that's why I don't want to make... That is exactly why I do not want to make picks on the air. Because I do not want people losing their hard-earned money because I'm a dope. Can't have it. Will I do football picks every Friday? Yes. Will I give you the disclaimer every Friday that you take my picks at your own peril? Absolutely.
Aren't we here to try to help people win money?
Yeah, but I also view this show, and I was talking about this with somebody online the other day. There's plenty of shows out there that are for the handicapping geeks that live and die with this stuff, that are literally trying to make a living doing it. I think the majority of the betting public is casual betting. It's the guy betting $15, $20, $25, and to them it's the greatest thing in the world when they hit that bet, which is cool. I'm about that. I'm about talking to the casual bettor more than I am about getting inside the head of the crazy handicapper that, and I don't mean crazy in a bad way, but crazy in terms of the fact that they bet a lot. They don't need me. Let's be honest. They don't need me. They don't need you. They don't need anybody telling them who to bet on. If you're betting that much money on games and doing it that often, you don't need me. You know what the hell you're doing. And I know people that are professional gamblers. Good friend of mine back in Connecticut. I won't say his name. But he's one of those guys that gives out picks. And I mean, he's made a living betting on professional sports. It's actually tight with Eddie DeBartolo. If you know anything about anything, I mean, Eddie DeBartolo is a character. But at the end of the day, I'm doing a show for the casual sports bettor as much as anything, which is why we're going to give out some fun props and lines and things like that. But you go out and decide what you're going to do. I'll tell you what my opinion is sometimes, but I am by no means an expert. And quite frankly, even some of the people that are experts aren't experts. They might portray themselves as such, but they're not. Just because you're loud and in a lot of places doesn't necessarily make you an expert. But there are some good people out there that make good picks. And if you want to go and ride with those people in terms of how you make your picks, go knock yourself out. We'll do picks every Friday here on the show. I'll give mine. Vlad will toss his out. And we'll see how it goes. First edition of Page's Picks. Well, that comes tomorrow on the show. But man, that is a tough way to open your season if you're the Rams. Heck of a night for Josh Allen. 297 through the air, 56 on the ground, 3 throwing touchdowns, 1 on the ground. Stephon Diggs, 8 for 122 and a touchdown. Gabe Davis, 4 for 88 and a touchdown. Davis had the first touchdown of the game on that opening drive. Diggs had one late, deep. So if you had those guys tonight in your fantasy lineups, well, you're going to be very happy. For the Rams, not very good. Not a good night. Matthew Stafford, 29 completions for 240 yards, 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions. And again, you're going to live and die with Stafford. That's part of his MO. He's going to throw interceptions. But they're going to need more help in the receiving game. I mean, it was Cooper Kupp, and that was it tonight.
Yeah, Allen Robinson, you got $15 million. Where were you today?
Cooper Kupp tonight, 13 for 128 and a touchdown. Allen Robinson, 1 catch, 12 yards. I don't know how many targets he had because it's not on my sheet. But after that, it was, he threw the ball around to 6 different guys, caught passes. But after Cooper Kupp's 13, the next highest was 5.
He wasn't really going down the field, watching the game. It was really a lot of dumps.
Well, they were getting pressure too.
Dipping dunks to the running back. Where was Cam Akers? Is he out? Is he still on IR? There's a lot of Darrell Henderson Jr. there.
Tons of it.
A lot of people are gonna say it was the Rams Super Bowl hangover and stuff like that. I still believe they'll make it to the Super Bowl again, lose to the Chiefs, but I'm not gonna go crazy after one game, the first game of the season.
No, and look, nobody's gonna go nuts after one game. There's, we call it all the time, overreaction Monday. We hear that term all the time in the NFL, overreaction Monday, and this will just be part of that. Overreaction Monday. You'll get plenty of that to this one game. Teams make adjustments. You get some film. Again, nothing. I talked about it even just to compare it to sort of what we're doing here on the air. I make all the preparations in the world every night before we do the show. And before we started hosting this new show back on Monday. You can make all the preparations in the world. Until you pull the curtain up and you do the thing live, you have no idea some of the things that could go wrong and how to deal with them. There's just certain things you cannot simulate in a trial run or in a test run. And you find those things out quickly in week 1. And the Rams found that stuff out quickly on Thursday night. It's not a huge surprise that Buffalo won this game. The fact they won by 21 might shock some people. But Buffalo winning is not an enormous surprise. I mean, they're obviously going to be really good this year. I was texting with Matt Verderam after he came on with us, and he said this offense is not going to have trouble scoring this year. But Vlad brought up something interesting just before we came back on the air, and that's Josh Allen running the football. They've got to figure out a way to try and minimize that, at least to some degree. Yes, it's nice to have it as a weapon, especially down in the red zone, but he carried it 10 times tonight. He was the leading rusher. He was the leading rusher for Buffalo in this game. And that cannot be a theme throughout the entire season and not wind up with some sort of consequence, a negative consequence, when you're talking about Buffalo. And they simply cannot afford to lose him. He's just too valuable. So we'll continue the conversation on the game. If you want to weigh in on it, thoughts on the Monday Night Football game, 800-224-2004, 800-224-2004. You can hit me up on Twitter, at The Backpage. If you're not following me there, go and do it. On Twitter, at The Backpage. If you want to hit me up at any point during the show, feel free to do so. We gave out a box of cards last night for a new follower of mine on Twitter, so you might want to follow me. I got more boxes of cards to give away. Gave away a box of NFL cards last night. You follow me on Twitter, you just might win one. That's all I'm going to say. The rule changes in Major League Baseball proposed for 2023. The good, the bad, and the ugly. We'll get to it next. I'm Jason Page. It's the Cash In on the Sports Map Radio Network. Wow, look at the fire, babe. Chung. The fire. What? A few minutes. Few minutes. Am I missing this story?
There's fights happening in LA right now between Bills and Rams fans.
What?
Yeah. In the middle of the streets of LA, there's fights between Bills and Rams.
Really?
Fans. Right in front of Shady McCoy. God, I miss LA.
Hey, Brian. This segment coming up on the MLB rule changes, this could be one. Yeah. Yeah, I gotta go and... Yeah. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, that'll work. Because I gotta throw it in my... Adobe Audition and do something with it. Okay. Coming back. Rolling along with the show. Coming up in 15 minutes. My defense of the sports betting industry, and I'm at the moment, I don't have any huge sports betting sponsorship dollars behind me or anything like that. This is not me being a shill for the sports betting world. It's just simply a commentary on some of the things I'm reading out there as it relates to sports betting. We'll get into that coming up in about 15 minutes here on the show. So, Major League Baseball, in all its wisdom, is putting in their rule changes for 2023. A lot of them, by the way, which I like. I want to go through some of them here and give you my thoughts on them, and then we'll talk a little bit about it. And if you guys want to chime in on it, obviously you could. 800-224-2004, 800-224-2004. You can hit me up on Twitter as well, at The Back Page, if you haven't already done so, on Twitter, at The Back Page. So the pitch clock. All right. This has been tested out in the minor leagues. I think universally around baseball, this is going to be embraced. This is one of the good changes. Clock will be set at 15 seconds with nobody on. It'll be set at 20 seconds with a runner on base. And it's also interesting to note the pitcher's only allowed to step off twice, barring the advancement of a runner. I'll get into this in a second. There'll be a 30-second pitch clock in between at bats and a 2-minute, 15-second timer in between innings. Okay? So that's what you got on the pitch clock. The one that's got a lot of people up in arms, though, when it comes to the whole pitch clock pitching situation is this one. The pitcher can only step off twice, barring the advancement of a runner. So you can only do a pickoff. You could basically only do 2 throwovers. If you throw it over a third time, it's a balk. That's a big problem. I mean, it could literally change the way teams man their rosters, who you put on, because I mean, my God, you just get a couple of speedsters, and they're going to be able to run around the bases on some of these pitchers. You cannot limit the number of times somebody can throw over. I get you're trying to speed up the game. I get it. I still think if you take 15 minutes off the game, it's not going to make a difference as to who's watching and how many people are watching. And, the kids are going to come and watch if it's 3 hours and 5 minutes versus, say, 10 minutes. If it's instead of 3 hours and 5 minutes, the game's 2 hours and 55 minutes on average. Those kids are not coming to watch the game regardless. They'd rather play MLB 2K23 on their PS5 or their Xbox or whatever. So no matter what you do, I don't think you're getting those guys. So if the goal is to shave off a few extra seconds by making 2 throwovers the max, I think it's asinine. And I hope that's one thing that doesn't stick. The next thing is the shift restrictions. And this one I'm actually very much in favor of. 2 infielders have to be on each side of second base. So the days of 3 men on, the right side, when a Joey Gallo comes to the plate, 3 people being on the right side of it's done. And I'll tell you right now, guys like Joey Gallo are going to benefit enormously from stuff like this. I know he strikes out a ton. But guys like that, guys who get shifted a lot, they're going to benefit enormously from this. So, interestingly, each infielder has to have both feet on the outer boundary of the dirt, seemingly meaning players cannot make even slight adjustments to their positioning other than laterally. Another interesting point when it comes to the shift being banned. The penalty is a ball charged to the pitcher, but a violation occurring on a ball put in play acts like similarly to offsides in football. If the result favors the defense, it's negated and a ball is added to the count. This is crazy. But if the ball in play results in an error, a hit batsman or any other play that favors the offense, it stands. And then there's the bigger bases. Bases will be 18 inches instead of 15. Again, making it easier to steal bases. A lot of these rules are going to help base runners. And it's supposed to help prevent injuries because you got, guys who sometimes step on somebody's foot on a base, things like that. And now you're going to see even crazier slides if you think about it. You could slide further away from the base because you could reach out and touch it. That few extra inches. They use that stupid oven mitt on their hand to go and make slides now. And the oven mitt extends further out than their hand does. There should not be an oven mitt. The oven mitt should be banned. I mean, how many guys really get hit on that oven mitt when they're sliding? Nobody's getting hit on the oven mitt. And what? You're making that rule because of the one time somebody does? So those are the proposed rule changes in baseball. I'll tell you the one I want. I'll give you the one I want. And I'll tell you a funny story about it, and that's the robotic strike zone, the automated strike zone. Give me the automated strike zone above everything. As soon as they have that technology perfected, an automated strike zone is a must. Because I'm sorry, and I say this respectfully, and I've had friends that were Major League. I know 2 guys that are former Major League Baseball umpires. And they'll probably hate me for saying this. We may not be friends anymore. There's just way too much inconsistency in what the actual strike zone is. It's become interpretation rather than an actual strike zone. And I think the way you fix that is you make it automated. Let these guys and at MIT figure out a solution and give me an automated strike zone. And you know who said this? I was hosting on NBC Sports Radio back in like 2013 or 2014. And Bobby Valentine came on the air with me. And I was one of the first people I think he said it to. He thought we'd get an automated strike zone. And people laughed at him. People laughed at him for saying it. And you know what? He's going to wind up being right. There's going to be an automated strike zone. It's just a question of when, not if. But baseball's got it. I mean, I get some of these changes. I do not get some of the others. Am I crazy, Vlad? I mean, the one where you're telling guys they can only throw over twice. And can you imagine that in a World Series game? Telling a guy he can only throw over twice?
Nah.
I mean, that's nuts. You can't do it.
It's just, I mean, I'm all for speeding up the game, but it's just certain things you just got to leave. Especially in the postseason. You got to leave the things the way they are. I don't care. If it's tied, go 15, 16 innings. I know the pace of the game, you want people to be entertained. You want people to have their, keep their attention on the game. But that's just the way competition is sometimes, man. Sometimes it's grueling and sometimes it's long. That's what it is.
Yeah, I mean, look, baseball's not meant to be played short. It's not. It is not a game that is meant to be played at some rapid speed. You don't run through a baseball game unless Greg Maddux is on the mound or Jordan Montgomery. Games just don't go fast. You got to kind of live with it. But they're going to try. Be damned. Man, Rob Manfred, I don't know how many people know the story, and nobody knows truly everything that was said at it, but during the Hall of Fame inductions in Cooperstown, Rod Carew, Hall of Famer Rod Carew, he converted. Rod Carew.
Yeah, he's part of the tribe.
He is. Rod Carew went up to Rob Manfred and created a very awkward moment in which Manfred was looking for an escape hatch, a hole in the ground to swallow him up, because Rod Carew was basically like, man, you suck at your job. I mean, that is essentially the short version of it. No, seriously.
Carew, I'm just saying, there's nobody that can make you feel more guilty than a black Jew.
Carew went to town. Carew went to town on Manfred, and then he told the story about it, which some people thought was out of school. Big problems for baseball, though. Dealing with this stuff every day. We'll come back, talk about sports betting at large next on The Cash In. I'm Jason Page. This is Sports Map Radio. Did something play on your end? Because I don't know where it came from.
Yeah, it wasn't me. Maybe you might have hit the button.
Yeah, that's strange, because something happened. I just heard it real briefly. And I have do not disturb on my thing, so it shouldn't be any audio playing. All right, no worries. I just wanted to check. Probably my end. It has to be. If it's not you, it's me.
Send text to 2 Buffalo Riders.
What'd you say, Vlad?
Come on. Send text to 2 Buffalo Riders. See if they'll come on.
Oh, post game?
Yeah,
it's gonna be hard.
I know,
unless it's late in this last hour.
But a lot of those guys really don't go to the games anymore. I think a lot of this shit is on Zoom.
Trying to think if I even knew anybody in Buffalo.
I did. I mean, I texted the guy that I knew, Tyler Dunn.
I used to talk. Vic Carucci used to be.
Joe Pascuala. Yeah, I don't know if he's doing that anymore.
Yeah, I don't know what he's doing.
No, they still have his name on the black book.
Black book. Yeah, he's a legendary Buffalo sports writer and reporter and all that. Worked with Vic back at my Sirius XM days. My SexM days. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. It's interesting.
All right. Well, Tim Graham's at the game, so he's writing on the deadline tonight.
Who is?
Tim Graham.
Oh, yeah, I love Tim Graham. I remember Tim Graham.
I was hoping, since he saw a 754 number, and he has a 954 number. That's South Florida. No, that's a South Florida number, 954.
All right, come back.
All right.
Big win. Big win. Buffalo Bills 31, the Rams 10. And I'm sure there's some people that had money on it because sports betting continues to become something that is legalized in more and more states. Kansas just came online. The state that I'm in, California, has a big vote in November on the ballot. Prop 26 and Prop 27 out here. And what it basically is the difference between, you can only bet on tribal casinos, in tribal casinos, or you can bet on, Prop 20, that's Prop 26. Prop 27 says you can bet on, your phone and mobile sports betting, and all those things will be available. My guess is both of them will get passed, and you'll be able to vote on tribal land, and then you'll be able to vote also on your mobile device. They're actually competing ballot initiatives, but they're both going to probably get voted up. I'd be shocked if it didn't. But one of the trends that I'm seeing lately, and over the last few days in preparing for the show, I've seen these stories popping up about the legalization of sports betting, and one headline, grid.news. And again, there's a ton of these types of stories out there. So if you've seen one, you've seen them all. And the headline is basically, sports betting's about to become an American epidemic. The country is all in on gambling, but the health and financial risks are bigger than ever. Here's my problem with that headline. Sports betting, a hugely popular multi-billion-dollar industry. Blah, 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 blah. Here's the problem. There's a million things out there you can already do if you want to gamble. I mean, there's almost no states, I think with the exception of Texas, almost every state has casinos inside their borders. And they're all close enough that you can drive to them. There's offshore betting, which people can already do. I mean, if people want to gamble, they're going to gamble. And I'm sorry, and I am not an apologist for sports betting. I'm really not. I'm not. I don't have any lobbying dollars behind me. I don't even have we've been on for a week, so we have 3 days. In fact, this is our 4th show, so it's not even like I've got huge sports betting sponsors behind me. I'm sure I will at some point, but this would be my opinion regardless of that. People want to gamble, they're going to gamble. I mean, people, and look, I compare sports betting, and people can disagree with me on this all day if they want. I compare sports betting very much to what people do in the stock market every day. Day traders, people throwing their money in, taking it out fast, short selling. Cryptocurrency, same thing. My God, it's not even real. It's in a computer in a cloud somewhere, the blockchain. And how many people are losing their shirts on crypto right now? How you doing, Bitcoin? Oh, I got Wolf Coin and Vlad Coin and Jason Coin and Teddy Bear Coin. Everybody's got a coin. Coin here, coin there. NFTs. People paying millions of dollars for stuff that's, again, a picture, a digital picture. Oh, my God. But yeah, sports betting, that's the problem. Because just like the stock market, if you do your homework, there's a reason that there are professional sports bettors who do make a living doing this. It's like I tell people all the time when it comes to poker. Poker's not gambling. Poker's a game of skill. There's a reason the same people win bracelets every year at the World Series of Poker. You know why? They're good at it, and it's a game of skill. You know why there's no World Series of Craps? And now somebody's going to tell me there is, I'm sure. You know why there's no World Series of Craps? Because it's gambling. It's a straight up gamble. You're throwing 2 dice down the board. There's no skill involved. And in sports betting, much like the stock market, if you do your homework and you really want to make money in it, whether it's on a small level, on a medium-sized level, or you want to throw your whole bankroll into it, you can make money in it. Now, there's a lot of people out there that are degenerates, that lose and throw bad money on bad money. I am somebody, and listen, I have always been an open book on this stuff. Vlad knows me. I've talked about this stuff very openly on the air. I've talked about it in my private life. I've talked about it on the radio. I've talked about it on TV. I have lost more than I would ever care for anybody to know. But I've shared the number. It's 6 figures easily. When I was younger and was just betting for the sake of betting. And this was when it was just offshore betting and all those different offshore accounts. And you win some and you lose some. And I mean, I lost insane amounts of money. But I didn't do any homework. I'd win a bunch. I'd get lucky and win a bunch of bets. And then I'd think I knew what I was doing and place a big wager and lose it all. Now I very rarely wager on sports. When it becomes legal in California, I don't know how that will change my opinion and how I do it. But I would consider myself now at this point in my life, even when it is legalized, I will be the casual sports bettor. I'll throw a bet here and there on a game, but I'm not sitting there and studying the minutia of when there's a half of inch of rain and so-and-so is playing so-and-so and the roof is closed, but there's a southwest wind. I'm just not doing it. All the power to the people that do. And guess what? There are people that do and they make money. But to make it sound like the legalization of sports betting is the problem, that the legalization of sports betting is going to be the reason why there's this huge epidemic of people losing all of their mental stability, their financial stability. It's just not true, because all of the people that want to lose their money on those things, there are plenty of those vices already available for them to do it. Go walk into any gas station. My God, there's $25 scratch-off tickets. I remember the days of my mom sending me into the store as a little kid. And, the guy at the Wawa didn't really care. Remember Wawa? Vlad, do you remember Wawa? Did they have Wawa? Yeah, the little convenience stores. Wawa?
It's still here.
Yeah, they're still Wawa. Okay.
They're still around.
All right, well, they're not where I am. But anyway, I remember as a kid, my mom sending me into Wawa and being like, get me a $2 scratch off. And I'd be like, wow, Mom, you're going to the $2 scratch off ticket. There were no $5, $10, $15, $20, $25 scratch. There might even be $50 scratches for all I know now. But who buys them? Degenerates who just want to get, or just hoping on a prayer. And I've seen people go in and spend tons of money on scratch off tickets. Are we going to ban those? Should we just make those illegal too? If somebody's hell-bent on losing every dime they have on the hope and a prayer that they're going to win something, they're going to do it regardless. Whether it's sports betting, whether it's scratch-offs, whether it's walking into a casino and putting it in a slot machine. Hi, Mom, by the way. Hi, Mom. My mom, biggest blue-haired slot machine player you'll ever see. Bless her heart. She will play those slot machines for 24 hours straight. She won't even come to bed. I know. I've gone to the casino with her. She can outlast all of us. And she's almost 80. So that's my point. If people are going to do it, they're going to do it. Regardless. Whether we legalize it or don't legalize it, if people are hell-bent on going out and spending their money, they're going to go out and spend their money on it. That's what they do. If you want to get into this game of sports betting, though, you've got to pay attention and you got to know what the hell you're doing. If you want to really try and make money in it. But I think the vast majority, and I don't have the statistics in front of me, but I've looked this stuff up because in deciding to launch this show, there was an idea of who we wanted to broadcast to, who we wanted to reach out to. And to me, it's about hitting the casual sports bettor. The guy who's going and placing the random wager for $25 or $30 and giving him what we know. And that's it. If you're looking to bet $1,000 on a game or $150 on a ton of games every night, all the time, hey, man, that's on you. Go ahead. You go ahead and do that. I don't know, Vlad, would you consider yourself a casual sports bettor?
No.
No?
No.
What are you then?
I'm a gambler. That's it.
No, but you're not betting everything you have.
I'm not betting anything I have, but if it's some action that I like, I'm going to take.
Yeah, but again, and look, and how much you're betting is obviously always relative to how much you actually make or how much money you have. So it obviously has a lot to do with that. So saying, are you a big bettor? Well, if you don't make a lot of money, a $25 bet might be a lot to you.
Hey, man.
I'm not saying you.
No, I'm just saying, if you and I are talking and we see two kids are going, walking to the bus stop and waiting, I'll bet you to see hey, I bet you the kid in the blue polo shirt is gonna get to across the street faster than the kid in the red polo shirt.
Okay, now I'm gonna say, if that's your mentality, you have a problem.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, no, and I say that to you as my friend. We'll have a little intervention here on the air. If that's how desperate you are to bet on something, then yeah, there's a problem.
It's not desperate. It's just if somebody says bet, I'm gonna bet. I like the action. Competition.
See, no, I'm not. I don't think I've ever been to that degree. I don't think I've ever been to that degree.
I mean, there's some degeneration with you, man.
There isn't now because honestly, I don't want to wind up divorced. Not to get like super ultra personal here, but I don't want to be divorced. Like I said, when you've got to, and I say this to you out of respect because you're my friend. When you're married, it's a whole different ball game, man. And before I was married and my partner and I were on separate continents and he was in Singapore and I was here and we'd go back and forth and visit each other. So but once you're living together, married, nope. Can't do it. Won't do it. So I mean, that's just, and that's where it is.
Marriage life. That's marriage life.
Yeah,
that's why I stay single.
And I'm okay. And I'm okay with that.
And even if I was in a relationship, Shorty's gonna have to know now. You know.
Yeah, you set the ground rules. Absolutely. I'm
like Lama. That's my thing. You know, I don't say anything when you're ordering from Amazon. I'm ordering betting cards. That's it. You have your vice. I have mine.
I don't know if we can move you out here to California when they legalize sports betting. I'm terrified. You're gonna spend every penny you make.
No, first of all, I'm not like that. I'm not you. I know when to stop.
I know when to stop now.
Now, yeah, I know. I have a cap.
Is the cap before you get thrown out or evicted?
No. That's when you're young. You have a cap now. You listen, man. I think people just get. As you get older, you gamble for kicks and giggles. You know what I mean?
I mean, look. You were with me. You have seen me in person.
You have a story.
Yeah, you've seen me in person. Like we were at Mohegan last year. We have a story?
Yeah, in Vegas. I told your ass.
Just not the crap story. Not the crap story.
It was a crappy story for you. You were up. I told you, let's go. You even told me, hey, come get me. Come get me out.
So we went to. So all right. So real quick. You know what? I'll hold the story over and we'll finish the hour with it. I'll let Vlad. Well, Vlad's version and my version might differ.
Let me finish it because I'll let you know.
Okay.
I'll let the people know.
All right. We'll come back. I'm Jason Page. That's executive producer Vladimir Lewisant. We're hanging out with you on the Cash In, talking a little bit about the sports betting world and the fact that it isn't as evil as some people make it out to be. It's as evil as you allow it to be, really. But anyway, we'll come back and talk about it some more. I'm Jason Page. It's the Cash In on the Sports Map Radio Network.
I'll use the bathroom.
Tim Brando. Jesus. Tim Brando, man. That guy's been around 100 years. Used to work with him at Sirius, too. A lot of wood to chop. I like it. It's a good one. To use that. Bang. So I bought some boxes of cards to give out on the show, but I may keep one of them for myself. Just one. So that's the problem. The fact that I haven't opened up all these cards is nothing short of a miracle. Brian, you collect sports cards at all? What is it? Am I the only person collecting? My God. Sure they do. I got a sweet Julio Rodriguez special print, short print card. I pulled out of a Topps box, I don't know, about a month ago. It's like a $320 card.
Oh, man. That's nice now.
Yeah. And I was going to sell it, but when he went 2020 and got the huge contract, I'm like, damn, I might have to hang on to this.
If he won the home run derby, you really would have had to hold on to it.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not based on that. It's just based on two things. One, it's a short print, which means there's very few of them. And the other part is the fact that he's really good. And he is the future of that organization, obviously.
Clearly.
Is there any mail for me? Since you're going through all the mail over there, everybody could hear it. You could toss that. Is that for me or no?
The other thing I could hear is Dookie's really going to town on that bone, man.
You heard him? My God.
You can hear him, bro, the whole time. I really want to take him.
I told him, I went to my house. I'm like, take the bone away.
Yeah, I could hear him.
Time, man. You have no idea. I'm so desperate to get into this studio space. So I don't have to deal with this crap. All right, coming back. All right, so I have many degenerate gambling stories. But one Vlad was actually present for. And I'll let him tell it from his perspective.
You mean the truth?
Tell it from your perspective. Go ahead. We got 2 minutes.
Okay, real quick. We were working at a previous spot. He mentioned NBC Sports Radio. We were covering a fight for PBC.
That wasn't the Mayweather.
No.
Okay. All right. Go ahead.
Right.
Go ahead.
You there? And you said, "Hey, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna gamble. If I'm up, Vlad, come get me. Get me out of there. I'm gonna hit you up. I'm gonna let you know how I'm doing. If I tell you that I'm up, come get me out." I'm like, "All right, cool, no problem." Mind you, my boy came from Miami, so we're hitting Vegas. We're hitting the Strip. We're having a great time. My boy hits me up. Vlad, I'm up. I'm having a good time. That's Jason. This is Jason hit me up. I'm up. I'm like, cool. We're gonna come get you. Let's go. We're gonna be there in like 5-10 minutes. We get to the casino. I find Jason. I see Jason. Jason's up. I'm like, yo, Paige, let's go. He's like, nah. And I saw the face and the classic tell of somebody's like, you see, not listening to what he's preaching. I'm like, Jason, let's go again. No, I'm good, bro. I'm good.
Good thing we're out of time.
I'm feeling it.
I lost all my money.
Third time.
Yeah, I gotta go. We got a break. Top of the hour. It's the Cash In on the Sports Map Radio Network. We'll finish the story on the other side.
It's the truth.
Yep. Hold on. Let me get my Adobe Audition opened. Okay.
That's horrible.
Wake up call. All right, I'm going to email this to you, Bri. Save file. Close. Downloads. Damn it, this file's too damn big. All right, Brian, I sent that interview to you. Man, Damian Woody. Whew.
Hey, Carton was trying.
All right, that takes care of that. No, Cousin Brucey was still alive. It's Cousin Brucey. I sent you the file. Should be all set. Let me know that you got it. I sent it to your Gmail. Should be all set. Let me know that you got it. I sent it to your Gmail. Oh, that's me in just my looking at something. Should be all set. Let me know that you got it. I sent it to your Gmail. Oh, that's me in just... Why is this doing that? Do you believe? Cool. Thank you. Yeah, so that's 3 segments I gave you, right? Yeah, that's good. Actually, you know what? If you want to throw in a 4th, that last gambling segment, nah, you know what? Don't, because we kind of left it open-ended. All right, we're coming back. Let's go. Final hour of a Thursday/Friday show now for those of you on the East Coast. I am that guy, Jason Page. Our executive producer is Vladimir Lewisant. He's the EPV.
I am.
He is. Like Bianca Belair is the EST. You're the EPV.
Yeah, there's a reason why she's the EST. You know, she could put words that end with EST. I can't put words that end. There's no words that end with EPV.
It's true. Brian McDonald is our producer in Houston tonight. Thank you, Brian. I feel bad. We've had 2 shows with producer John, and virtually no problems. We've had 2 shows with producer Brian, and there's been like all these technical issues. He's not going to want to work with us anymore. He's just going to be like, please get me off this show. Craig, take me off the show. Anything but that Jason Page guy. If you missed the show so far, Matt Verderam joined us. You know what? I should tease something else tonight. So Matt Verderam joined us in the first hour, and you may not have been able to listen because you were watching the Thursday Night NFL season kickoff. And I would be totally understandable. There's very few times I would not understanding you tuning into this show. That would be one that I would consider a legitimate excuse. Matt Verderam from Fansided, as their national NFL writer, joined us in the first hour. He was excellent. If you missed that interview, we actually have a cash-in podcast. There's a cash-in podcast. You can get it every morning following the show. It'll usually be 30 to 45 minutes and just kind of give you the best from the show. To finish something we were talking about at the end of the last hour. So basically, Vlad gave most of the story. He didn't give all of the story. I won a ton of money playing poker the night that I lost my shirt. Won a ton of money playing poker, and then I lost it on a craps table because Vlad tried pulling me away, and I didn't go. So it's my fault. Simple as that.
Degenerate.
It was a degenerate moment. I will absolutely agree. I lost control. We're coming back with more of the Cash In on the Sports Map Radio Network. We'll talk about the Thursday night NFL opener and more. Stay with us. Yes, that's exactly what I was going to ask for. Thank you. Vlad, when I tell you, and I've told you this before, I literally live a football field, less than a football field away from a casino.
Right now?
Literally right across the street.
So you could walk if it wasn't so hot?
I could walk even if it is hot. Vlad, it's literally, it's diagonally.
100 yards is far.
No. It's not even 100 yards. It's walk across the street. Like if I live on a corner, I don't live on a corner, but the condo, I live on a corner. The condo complex I live in is called the Deauville. If you go and look it up, Palm Springs, the Deauville, and look at the location. I live in that complex. It is on the corner of Amado and Calle El Segundo. If I walk diagonally across the street, I'm in the casino parking garage. That's it. Like it is literally across the street from my condo. And the funny part is I almost never go into this casino. One, they don't have a poker room. Because they have 3 casinos in the immediate area, and only one of them has a poker room. Because they don't want to dilute the poker players and have them in 3 different rooms. They'd rather just have them go to one, which is like 15 minutes from here. But this casino has already built the sports book out. They're just waiting for it to become legal so they can put the kiosks in. So that's it. And then I literally could walk across the street and place a bet if I wanted to.
Good thing you don't.
But I will soon.
Poor guy.
I mean, how do you not?
I don't know. Easy.
Well, my husband, but the thing is, my
months, and he's suspended.
Wait, Punk's out 8 months?
Yeah. So while all of this was going on, the fucker injured himself during the match. He did a dive outside the ring on at Moxley, and he fucked up his arm.
Oh man!
Up. So he was already going to be hurt and be out, but then everything went crazy during the post fight press conference.
Jesus.
And he is suspended, but he's also. But I mean, being suspended while you're hurt is kind of like weird.
Yeah.
Apparently, a lot of people don't like him in the locker room.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. That doesn't surprise me at all.
And now with Triple H running stuff, people who feel any displeasure at AEW and where Triple H guys are trying to go back to Stanford.
Yep.
And now AEW is doing something they haven't done before. They're letting people go of their contracts with conditions.
Huh.
Like basically saying we're letting you go, but you cannot wrestle for WWE.
Which means you're basically out of business.
Yeah, or you could do some independence, but you can't do anything until your contract's done.
What? Go to TNA or New Japan?
You can go to TNA.
You can go to New Japan.
They have relationships with them.
New Japan's got a U.S. thing now, so.
Ring of Honor, and I think AEW have a deal going on because every week they have their title.
Yeah.
Defended on there.
Well, they're doing stuff with. Aren't they doing stuff with TNA too, Bri?
Sure.
Yeah, Impact. That's what I meant. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were sharing them.
They were, and it still didn't work out. So when things like that happen, this is why you need events. At the end of the day, you can't have wrestlers running while they're still wrestling, running the fucking promotion.
Did the Connecticut Sun win tonight?
Why, they beat the Sky?
I think they did. They were down and they went on like a huge 18-0 run, and I think they actually won. I'm looking at the highlights right now. Hold on, don't spoil it for me, because I got to see if they won. Connecticut Sun playing for an WNBA championship. Oh, I love it.
Wow. That's crazy.
Hold on, I'm watching this.
That is crazy.
What, the CM Punk thing?
No, the fact that what the score, the game.
Hold on, I'm watching.
Jesus Christ, man, it's taking you forever to freaking there with the highlights.
They're still showing the highlights.
Dog.
Hold on, we're coming back. Come back.
Connecticut won. Fuck.
Looking at my dated YouTube TV feed, watching Connecticut Sun highlights. Yes, I'm watching. Connecticut Sun are going to the WNBA final. Let's go. That is awesome. Connecticut seeking their first WNBA title. I'll even do you one better. Connecticut. Now I'm from the state of Connecticut, so I have to throw this in. The Connecticut Sun. Connecticut Sun are going for the first major league championship in the history of the state of Connecticut. That is so awesome. And this organization's been in the WNBA finals. This is going to be their fourth finals appearance. Close the deal. Let's go. Very cool.
I give you credit.
Why?
You're probably the only national sports talk radio host that's talking about WNBA.
I'm just giving it a quick mention. I'm not spending like tons of time on it.
I know. You got to shout out your home state. Shout out to the only, I believe they're the only professional sport team you have in your home state.
Well, they're the only major league team.
Right, major professional.
Yeah, because I mean we've got a AA baseball team, which actually has.
Yeah, I said professional.
Yeah, no, I know, but they are professional. AA is professional baseball.
Yeah, minor. I'm talking about actual professional. Like a brand, something that people actually know. So,
hey, the Hartford Yard Goats. Let me tell you something. The Hartford Yard Goats, just for the second or third straight year, won best minor league ballpark in America.
What do you want, a cookie?
They're awesome, dude.
And
it's a gorgeous park, sit right in downtown Hartford, man.
And
just saying. And Connecticut's got, arguably the greatest women's professional basketball, women's college program of all time.
Not denying that, but
I mean, come on.
And
I mean, how many ands do you need?
I'm just saying. I'm just letting you know Connecticut's not really popping as a sports state. They have great sports talent, but for professional teams, no, they don't.
Well, I will say this: the one thing that drives me nuts about Connecticut sports fans, especially the Connecticut Sun crowds, and this is way more time than I need to spend on this, but I will.
Very much.
But Connecticut Sun fans, they're all like Connecticut public access, Connecticut public television audience. Like they're all 65 plus. They sit on their hands the whole game. Like it's not, you would think in the shadow of New York, you'd have more rabid sports fans, but and there are some WNBA crowds that are lively and really get into it. Connecticut is not one of them. I hope they prove me wrong for this WNBA final because you're in a big stage. You'll be on ESPN, you'll be on ABC, and I watch the games and the fans are just, my God, it's like this is the playoffs. You have a chance to win your first pro championship. And fans just sit there. Timeout, your team just went on like a 10-0 run and they're just sitting there going.
Adam Silver better give us a call for us to be talking about the WNBA like this.
Who has to give us a call?
Adam Silver.
He's not in charge of it anymore. WNBA is its own thing.
It's run by the NBA, man.
No, it's really not. WNBA operates independently. It actually does. I'm telling you. Okay. So anyway, very interesting though. WNBA, Connecticut Sun. So it'll be the Connecticut Sun and the Las Vegas Aces. Connecticut, that's kind of cool. One team in a casino town and one team that actually plays inside of a casino. That's pretty wild. All right. So here's my question as it relates to the U.S. Open. I want to see what you think. Is it a bad thing for arguably the greatest tennis match of the year and really one of the best? I don't think it's crazy to say one of the best matches certainly of this decade so far. We're only a couple of years in. Is it a bad thing for a match like that to end at 3 a.m.? And I think the answer is simple. It's a yes. It's a giant capital letter yes. You cannot have your premier, you have 4 premier events. You've only got 4 events every year in tennis that you're getting casual sports fans to watch. And with those casual sports fans watching that, you have to be able to parlay that into getting them to watch other events on, things like the Tennis Channel. Because outside of the 4 majors, which are on ESPN, outside of those 4 majors, you've got nothing that isn't on a part of the dial that's very difficult for people to find. So you cannot have a quarterfinal match with 2 of the game's youngest, brightest stars in Jannik Sinner, Carlos Alcaraz, who's 19 years old, by the way, and a lot of people think could be the next Rafa Nadal. He's of that ilk. He's Spaniard, very much in the mold of Nadal. You cannot have that match ending at 3 a.m. You can't do it. I know it's cute and, those loud New York crowds and it's 2:30 in the morning and there's, 30% of the Arthur Ashe Stadium court is full and wow, how loud and exuberant the fans are. And nobody saw it. The match ended almost at midnight on the West Coast. Forget the East Coast. On the West Coast, nobody was able to watch it. How are you promoting your game? How are you moving your game forward when you have a match ending at 3 a.m.? And it's the worst part about it is this. It's completely preventable. You got a zillion courts there. You don't have to play every match on Arthur Ashe. So who cares how great the match was if nobody saw it? And if we're going to kill the NBA for all these years when they do things like this and start a Tuesday night or a Thursday night game 2 doubleheader at 10:30 on the East Coast and nobody sees the ending of a great regular season game. And we're going to kill the NBA for that, as we should, by the way, or as we kill Major League Baseball when they do this same thing of, well, let's start a game at 8 o'clock and it ends at 11:30 and nobody sees it. Same with Monday Night Football, Sunday Night Football. They've gotten smarter, moved the times up. But if we're going to kill those sports, tennis, which cannot afford. You got 4 events a year. 4. In a 12-month calendar, you've got 8 weeks by which to try and make your mark. Put your stamp on the sports landscape. And that match last night was epic. It is one. I'll tell you what I'll compare it to. It reminds me of the night I was at UConn Syracuse at Madison Square Garden, the 6 overtime game or whatever it was. It was that kind of nuts. It was that kind of crazy. Over 5 hours, amazing shot making. These two guys running end to end, seemingly with more energy in the 5th hour than they had in the 1st hour. And nobody saw it. How is that good for your sport? I'm going to get highlights of it on Twitter. You can't understand how good that match was if you didn't watch the entire match. Seeing 1 point here and there is the equivalent to watching, a 30-minute recap of the World Series of Poker, and all you're seeing are the all-in hands with ace-king versus ace-ace. Or pocket kings versus pocket queens. And you think that's what poker is. You can't appreciate how good that match was last night. Unless you actually got to see it. And unfortunately, nobody did. Because ESPN decides to start it. And I don't even know if it's ESPN. So I'm not going to go after them.
Don't blame me.
No, it's probably not ESPN. It's probably the USTA.
First of all, that match was scheduled to be at 9 p.m. The previous match went longer than it was.
9. Even 9 p.m.'s too late.
No, it's not.
Of course it is.
What time do you want this match to start in New York City? When people are getting out of work, when you want those patrons to come and watch that match, what time do you want that to start?
Oh, come on. Hold on a second. Hold on. Let's not make pretend that people don't get out of work to go watch sporting events in New York. I could show you I could show you a million day games throughout the course of a baseball season where there's 40,000 people at Yankee Stadium. And guess what? They're not in work.
Day games in Yankee Stadium when they could barely, when there's 15,000,
no,
when they stay,
not true.
40,000 or 35,000 people in there, they barely have that.
Not true.
Stop that.
It's not true. It's not true.
Second of all, I believe so. And second of all, there was what big name was there for them to go see? You may, because you're the tennis fan, you'll stay up and watch them. But if it's not a name or a marquee, nobody's going to stay up there to go. Okay, now if that was Serena Williams and it was playing at 9 p.m., guess what? Yeah, people would have been watching. Or if that was a Nadal. Or
they're not staying up till 3 a.m. to watch that match.
They'll stay up.
They're not. You know what? People can't stay up till 3 a.m. You can't have a match start that late.
They know that.
Start them earlier. Start them earlier. And they didn't. And it's a bad job by the USTA or ESPN or both. You got to do better than that for your fans. We're coming back with more of the Cash In on the Sports Map Radio Network. Stay with us. I think the Twins walked Aaron Judge intentionally more in this series than they walked any batters throughout the entire season. Like, they'd never intentionally walk anybody, and they intentionally walked him at least 3 times in this series.
Are you talking to me?
Yeah.
Are you on the air?
Yeah. No, we're not on there.
Oh. That was a smart move. Fucking Jesus Christ. Gleyber Torres, all you got to do is get some contact. Lift the ball up in the air and you get a
terrible.
sack.
It's just awful. He's just... Listen, next year you're going to see Peraza, you're going to see Oswaldo Cabrera, and you're probably going to have Anthony Volpe up next year. Anthony Volpe might start the season at shortstop for them. It's very real. I don't know what they're going to do with IKF. Was IKF only a 1-year deal, though?
Might have been a 1 or 2 year deal.
Well, no, they got him in a trade. Didn't they They got him in a
They got him from Texas.
Yeah, but I'm saying, I wonder what's on his deal. Because
It wasn't long. Andujar's going to be gone. All these Hicks will be gone. All those guys will be gone.
I don't know. Hicks? I don't know what Hicks might still be under. Hold on. Contract.
And when I mean gone, they're going to look for a trade for him.
Yeah, I don't know what you do with Hicks, dude. Oh, yeah, it was a 1-year deal. So Kiner Falefa will be gone. And that means Anthony Volpe will be the starting shortstop next year. Unless
was going to move to third.
Huh?
LeMay was either going to be moved to third. I don't know. I don't know how long Josh Donaldson's going to be a Yankee as well.
Yeah.
He's a 1-year deal. Donaldson's a 1-year deal.
Yeah, I think that infield's going to look a lot different next year.
Yeah, I think Rizzo and LeMay will be on there, and that's it. As of right now, the only guys I see on the Yankee roster next year is Trevino, Judge. Well, that's if Judge resigns, but it's Trevino, Judge, Stanton, LeMahieu, and Rizzo.
Donaldson. Let's see his contract. There's a buyout. No, I don't know what they're going to do. Coming back. Hold on. All right, glad to have you with us on this Thursday/Friday edition of the program. So we were talking about the tennis thing. It kind of dovetails into what I want to finish with on the show tonight, and that's people behaving badly with cell phones. Oh, we all know them. We're all around them all the time. I actually have my own story of something stupid with me and a cell phone. I think I've told the story before, but there's always new audiences tuning in. So Deion Sanders making news. I didn't know Deion could get this angry and fired up, but apparently he can. The Jackson State football coach, of course, Hall of Famer. He does not want his players, and I guess before the season started, he made it clear to guys he didn't want them using cell phones and getting distracted by cell phones at halftime of their games. Now, keep in mind, before Deion Sanders got to Jackson State, they had never won more than 5 games since 2013. They had a winning season in the COVID-shortened first year, and then he had the best record in history last fall. But their season opener went well. Beat Florida A&M 59-3. But that wasn't good enough for Deion. At halftime of the game, he walked into the locker room, and he saw some of his players on their cell phones. And this is what happened.
Y'all on the phone. You're gonna be back on the trail on the way home. I catch one. What's so important that you get to check the phone right now? What's that important? Other than where you are. This is the moment. Stay in it. Lock in. Live in it. Reside in it. You checking the phone right now.
Deion was fired up. Don't get on your phone, man. He said, and if I see you on your phone, you know what I'm going to do.
It's Prime, man. And you know what's great about Prime saying that?
Yeah.
Is that people like you and I who grew up watching Deion, if Deion was playing in this time, that's something we would have thought Deion be doing.
Absolutely.
But because he's Deion, and a lot of things that we think about these athletes aren't true. some of the myth is just better than the actual story. Deion is one of the most focused players ever. Like, he really studied game film. He studied his position. He studied the art of being a cornerback.
Yep.
So
everything but tackling. Everything but tackling. But yes, continue.
Everything but tackling. Okay, he wasn't a hard hitter, but what cornerback is a hard hitter anyway. But the fact of the matter is, like, what we think about Deion with the chains and the high stepping and everything, it's cool on the field. But when you're off the field, when you're in that locker room, I can understand there's no checking on the phone. What are you doing checking on the phone for? I know you're not tweeting. I know you're not messaging anything. Still another half to play. Could you imagine if somebody text or tweeted or messaged during during the first half of a game, they were up and they were putting up numbers, and in the second half it goes the other way and the team comes back and win? Then all the comments coming after that first half, they're gonna come after you.
Dude, Deion, if he was playing in this era, would have been taking like selfies on the sideline with mascots. Come on.
I don't think so.
He was prime time.
I know that's crazy because we grew up with prime time. We grew up with Deion.
Yeah.
We grew up with that guy. But I've come to turn around on a lot of these great athletes, people who we consider the best during growing up in their era. Like, how would they react? Like, a lot of people always ask the question, how would Michael Jordan react if he was living in the social media era? I think they would be more private. I think they would have.
I think Jordan would. I absolutely agree with you. I think Jordan would.
But I also think Prime would too. Prime would too. For everything about Deion never drank, he never smoked. He didn't do all of that. Did he love to put on a show? Absolutely. But extracurricular activities, no. So I like that. I love Coach Prime yelling at his players. They're going to listen.
So that's one person behaving, or one person who's fired up about the use of cell phones. The other that's gone viral is this TikToker that caught a white U.S. Open fan texting about, quote, all the black people leaving after Serena lost. So apparently this guy, and I see these people all the time. They're older and they can't see their phone screens. You know who I'm talking about. You're sitting next to them and you can look to your left and not even intentionally try to look at what they're typing on their phone. But they're those people who do the really big text. You ever see those people? I see them all the time, especially in Palm Springs where we're surrounded by, a lot of geriatrics who can't read what's on their phone. But this guy was typing on his phone about black people, and the person sitting directly behind him, the text was so big they were able to take a screenshot with their phone of what this guy was typing. Yeah, not good. And now 1.4 million people have viewed it. And I don't know if they know who the guy is, obviously, but not a good look. Not a good look at all. Oh, I'm sorry, not 1.4 million. The video's gotten 14 million views. 14 million people saw this guy typing about all the black people that were leaving the U.S. Open because Serena lost. And he was, talking about it in sort of a braggadocious manner. Just people, you got to be smart with your cell phones, man. Get the brightness all the way up. Big text. You might as well just be sharing the text with the whole crowd. I'll give you a cell phone story. True story. I was a newbie in Hartford. I was doing afternoon drive for an ESPN radio affiliate in Hartford. This would have been like 2009, something like that, 2008. I go to a UConn men's basketball game. Legendary Hall of Fame coach Jim Calhoun is there. And it's like the first game that I'm got a press credential for. XL Center in Hartford. I go post-game press conference is about to take place. After making us wait forever, Calhoun walks in. I run up with my cell phone and put it on the podium. And he starts doing his press conference. And then all of a sudden, in the middle of the press conference, in this big press room down in the bowels of the XL Center, all of a sudden you hear, "Now I gotta cut loose, foot loose." Kick off your Sunday shoes. Yeah. Apparently, I forgot to turn my ringer off on the phone. And as a result, somebody called me. And when they called me, my ringer was Footloose. It was the chorus from Footloose. So there it is, Jim Calhoun just sitting there, and in the microphones around the whole press room, everybody could hear, "Now I gotta cut loose, Footloose." It was good for Kenny Loggins. It wasn't good for me. And Jim just sat there waiting for somebody, and I'm not getting up and picking up this phone. I'm embarrassed enough just sitting there, beads of sweat pouring down my face. I'm sure if anybody looked around the room, they could have figured out it was my phone because I'm just panicked.
Why do you have Footloose as a song anyway? That's the first part.
I was just discovering that you could like make your ringtone different things. And
Footloose is the song that came
yeah,
into
before
mind?
that, it was actually Hips Don't Lie by Shakira.
Oh, Jesus.
It's kind of true. But Footloose was my song at that time, and Jim kindly waited for it to stop ringing, and then he goes, does anybody want me to turn that off? I didn't say anything. Thankfully, the person didn't try calling back. But easily one of the most embarrassing moments of my life that nobody will ever know it's me, unless, well, they're listening now, and in that case, they would know it was me. But yeah, that's what happened. Footloose. Kenny Loggins, baby. What's the worst thing? I wonder what the worst thing. You ever have like a bad moment with a cell phone, Vlad?
Nah.
Really?
Nope. I haven't had one. And let's continue that.
What do you mean?
Let's just continue that. You know, I'm knocking on wood. I don't have any bad luck with a phone. But no, I haven't had any bad luck with a phone.
Producer Brian in Houston. Have you ever had something really bad happen with a cell phone? Brian says no, nothing like what you've had. Leaves his phone on vibrate. All right, fair enough. Like I said, it's my fault. My bad.
Yeah, man, you slacked on your pimping, baby. That's it.
So Thursday night football next week, obviously. And they're going to get a ton of marquee games, and it's obviously going to be a fun season for that product. What'd you say?
Alan Kirk.
Apparently, and I was reading this on Awful Announcing today, that Al Michaels and Kirk Herbstreit were so comfortable together in the Thursday night football booth, which doesn't kick in, by the way, until week 2. It'll be Chargers and Chiefs at Arrowhead. But he said he told what'd you say?
I said a week from Thursday.
Yeah, a week from Thursday. Michaels was the guest on Jimmy Traina's podcast, which is a great, if you love to follow the media stuff, the SI Media podcast with Jimmy Traina is one of the few I actually listen to. And he was talking about the chemistry with Herbstreit. And Michaels said the chemistry was so good that by the end of the first quarter, they were doing like a test run. And by the end of the first quarter, Michael said, this is working really well. And then we did 3.5 quarters that night. He didn't finish the game. They didn't take the game to the end because he said, hey, this is going to work. And that was it. That's how comfortable they felt.
Which test game were they talking about? Not the Houston San Francisco preseason game. So this must have been a game that
it was a game before that. Yeah.
So okay, because I think they were also doing tonight's game as well as a
as a test run.
Ready.
Yeah,
as a test run, but they're not on Amazon. But I guess
Yeah.
They had their own booth and everything like that. But yeah, I think they were also doing that. But
yeah, no, they're supposedly, and then look, Herbstreit's good at what he does. So Al Michaels is really. I mean, if you've looked at all the partners he's had over the years, and he's worked with some pretty high profile guys.
Oh man, Michaels, you got to give him credit, man. Michaels has worked with both ends of the spectrum.
Yeah,
if you're talking about personalities.
He has.
You had Frank and Dan. You had
Dennis Miller. Remember, he worked with Dennis
Kornheiser.
Miller, for crying out loud.
You had John Madden. You had Chris Collinsworth.
Boom.
Yeah, he's had every end of the spectrum. Good for him.
So what do you think the top line? What do you think the top line's going to be So let's try and recreate, or let's try and create in advance. What do you think the headline's going to be in Buffalo tomorrow? The headline in Buffalo tomorrow is going to be, like, we're on our way, picking up where we left off.
Oh, I got it.
If that's the headline, again, in Buffalo, but I'm more curious. Yeah, I'm more curious. Why, you got one for Buffalo?
Yeah.
All right, go.
To beat a man, you got to beat the man. Bills beat the Bills, Super Bowl favorites beat the defending champs. Bong.
Yeah.
Back pages. LA. Super Bowl hangover. Still Super Bowl drunk.
Yeah, but I wonder beyond that. I mean, that might be and I mean the actual headline, but I'm saying the top line, like that number one thing on LA sports radio tomorrow that they're going to talk about when it comes to, what is the initial overreaction going to be? I wonder if it's Stafford. No. But is it Stafford in the elbow? Is it the lack of a running game? Is it?
I think it's going to be a lot on the offense, and it's going to be Jalen Ramsey, because that touchdown that he gave up to Stephon Diggs, even though he was expecting help, but the last time he was on that field, he gave up a touchdown to begin the second half. So it's all going to fall down to the Stars or the Rams, because the Rams are, they're a top-heavy team, to be quite honest. So if their stars are healthy and they play like this, they're going to get the criticism. Aaron Donald only had one sack. He wasn't really much of a factor the whole game.
Absolutely.
So that's going to, what happened? Where was Cam Akers? Like, fantasy owners want to know what happened to Cam Akers tonight. But also, if you're a Rams fan, you want to know what happened to him. That was the running back who kind of gave you life towards the end of last season and was a key contributor in your postseason run.
I'll give you one other. I'll give you one other thing that you got to think about if you're a Rams fan. I'll do that when we come back and wrap up this edition of the Cash In. I'm Jason Page at Sports Map Radio. There you go.
All right. I tried to get Dusty.
Try to get who? Oh yeah, I remember.
But he hasn't responded. I might get John Ewing.
See if you can get any West Coast guys that we can get live tomorrow.
Well, I was trying, bro.
Yeah, no, I know. It's just pre-tapes are just such a bear for me.
I'm gonna get John Ewing from. He's a NCAA college football predictions. We had him on before, just to get a little college football preview, and he breaks down numbers and all of that, so it comes to what we're doing with the show.
Cardinals, Trey Lance. Trey Lance. Wow, the Rams and Cardinals play both of their games in October. I mean, the Rams and 49ers play twice in October.
That's very weird.
Yeah, it really is.
That they would,
and they play at the beginning of the month and then the end of the month. I mean, they have two games in between, but still.
Why. There's a reason why. You don't want to end the season with the same teams all the time. Yeah. So they ended the season last year. They ended in LA with the Niners winning in overtime. Shit, Jets always end with the Bills in Buffalo, man. Just getting sick and tired of that bullshit. So you know what they do this year? Oh, well, Jets Miami, week 18.
At least I have no tennis to watch tonight before I go to bed. Last two nights, I was up until like midnight watching tennis. Tonight, I could just shut it down when I'm done.
Well, not me. I get a couple hour nap and then I gotta be up.
What, you're at 5 a.m.?
Yeah.
Oh, you got it. What time are you on the road? What's your flight's at 8?
Mm-hmm.
God.
I gotta take 2 connectors. I'm taking one to Charlotte, one to Chicago, and then Chicago to Omaha, and drive from Omaha to fucking Iowa.
Jesus. It's better be somebody you really like.
It's my cousin, man. It's first blood. You know, with parents and their health, somebody's got to go and represent the side of the family.
The family. Somebody got to represent the family. Coming back. Stand by.
Yeah.
Well, we're not sweating it out now. There's nothing left to sweat. Before we go, let me get this point in real quick on the Rams. Again, mobile quarterback, a lot of different things he can do in terms of running it versus throwing it. It doesn't get easier for the Rams. You know, they're going to see Kyler Murray twice this year. They're going to get Trey Lance twice this year. You know, Dak Prescott's a mobile quarterback. You know, you think of some of these guys, and if you watch what, and granted, not all of them are as good at doing it the way that Josh Allen does, but you know, even Jameis Winston, you know, they're going to play against the Saints, and you know, some of these mobile guys, Denver. I mean, it's not going to. Yeah, this isn't going to be the last time the Rams face this type of quarterback again. Not saying they're as good as Josh Allen, but it's going to be something worth watching because they really struggled with him tonight. They had no answer for Josh Allen. That's going to do it. We're out of time. Nice job, Vlad. I know you got a trip to Iowa coming up. Have fun with that.
I got a trip to Iowa. I'll be on sometime tomorrow.
All right. We'll see you then. Good job, Brian McDonald. I'm Jason Page. Catch you back here on Friday. End the week with the Cash In on the Sports Map Radio Network. Have a great night. Thanks, Brian. Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it. All right. Kill the...
All right. So I'm going to try to get a college football person. Either that Kevin Skarbinski. We used to get him. He does AL.com from Alabama. Preview the Crimson Tide Texas game. Or get John Ewing, college football predictions and numbers. He can help us with all the numbers and stuff like that. And NFL-wise, I'll try to get somebody from the West Coast to just break down all the games this week, or get a fantasy guy. Maybe get Jamie Eisenberg.
Okay. All right. Let me know. Keep me posted.
I will.
I know you're going to be like flying around and going all over the place.
Yeah,
just do your best to keep me posted.
Yeah, during those layovers, I'll be able to text and I'll let you know what time and send you the information if you have to record.
Yeah.
I'll try to get a live.
What time do you fly out?
8 a.m.
What airport?
Fort Lauderdale.
8 a.m. It's a long day. And what time do you arrive? What time do you think you'll get to Iowa?
I'll get to Iowa like at 6, and then I got to drive 2.5 hours.
Well, no, you fly to Omaha and then you got to drive 2.5 hours?
Yeah. Omaha, and then I got to drive 2.5 hours.
I've driven
to a cabin.
Yeah, I've driven through that part of the country. To a cabin?
Yeah, bro. Jeez. Listen, man. Obviously, my Haitian cousin's marrying a white woman, and her family lives in a farm in Iowa. My Brooklyn ass never been to Iowa. This is gonna be as country as it gets for me. This is literally Vlad in the heart of the heartland. Okay, I've never been in the middle of the heartland. This is gonna be me the first time in the